Hi kitty cats, it's Darkshire here and I've got a special guest for you. I'm here with Lisa Marie Robinson, who is a multinational accountant, and we're going to have a look at these pesky new VAT laws that are coming in January the 1st, 2015, that apply to digital sales coming into Europe. So if you're there thinking, well, that's all right, I'm not in Europe, well, think again, because they definitely will affect you too, because it's about anything that comes into Europe, so from whatever country you're in. So Lisa's going to give us the lowdown on this law, but first of all, Lisa, just tell everyone who you are and what your kind of role is in life.
My name is Lisa Robinson. I am a multinational accountant. I'm based in the United States, but I make it my business to know all the accounting and tax laws all over the country, because no matter where you're located, it's important to know how much money you have coming in, just as much knowing how much money you have going out. So I make it my business to know it. I love numbers. Most people don't, but I'm weird in that way. It's just what I do.
That's awesome. Well, someone's got to love numbers, because not everyone
I know, right?
I don't love numbers very much.
Most people don't.
I like it when it's my bank balance.
Yes, that's the way most people are. But I like being able to show entrepreneurs that accounting is not so scary. I made it I found it by accident when I was working at as an auditing job. So I decided to go back to school, and I got my bachelor's degree almost 2 years ago. And then I just pushed from there to have my own business. And when I'm not doing numbers, my two girls are my life. They're 11 and 3, and they pretty much fill up everything else. So.
Fab. So we've got a true expert here who's going to tell us what's what. So first of all, there's been a lot of stuff, information, misinformation flying around the internet regarding these new VAT laws. Can you just give us like a really simple overview that anyone could understand? I want to know who they're affecting, basically, and what the law is telling them they should do.
Basically, it affects anyone who sells any digital service that is entirely automated to anyone in the European countries. And that's the 28, they call them the 28 states of the European country. So any of those 28 countries are affected. So like me, if I sell something digital, whether it's an ebook or a taped webinar, anything of that nature that's fully automated, and I sell it to you or whoever, then I am required by the new law to charge a VAT tax based off of, and this is the important part, based off of where you are located. Whereas the previous law was based off of where the seller was, not where the consumer is. And part of the rumors that have been going around that's kind of been wishy-washy was they were saying, well, it's where the consumer is when they buy it. No. The law states that it's where the consumer normally resides. So even if, say, you're traveling to Africa, but you're normally from the UK, then the UK VAT tax is what I need to be charging you, not the Africa. It doesn't matter if you're online in Africa at that time buying from it. And that's where some of the misinformation's been, because they've been saying it's where they're at when they're buying it. No, that's not the case. They're requiring the seller to actually have two non-contradictory proof of the consumer's residence. So to say that that's where they're located, and they have to have at least two, so that they know that you charge the correct VAT tax.
So that's quite a problem, isn't it? Because I've heard that a lot of people are saying, well, VAT, at some point all businesses have to charge it. What's the big problem? But from what I've been seeing, it's a compliance issue. It's really complicated for solopreneurs. I mean, what do you foresee as the big problems for people like me, who's just me, with my laptop? I make and sell e-courses and whatnot, so there's a lot of people in my e-course bootcamp, like my own students, and a lot of people in the entrepreneurial world who are just like a one-man band, or one-woman band rather, just selling, pretty small business, and they're saying that the compliance is a problem. They don't have a problem with paying their taxes. They're not trying to avoid anything. They're saying it's a compliance issue. So what would you say about that? I mean, are you seeing that problem as well?
Yeah, I mean, I can see it potentially being a compliance issue. The reason why is because if you don't do some things to make sure that the law doesn't affect you, or then you're going to have to do something to comply. You're going to have to make sure that if you're selling the products on your website, then you've got to make sure that you're getting the information you need to get, and that you are charging the correct VAT tax. Then again, it's also based off of whether or not you do individually register in each of the 28 countries, which if you're a solopreneur, I don't recommend it, because all I can see is full chaos. A lot of people are totally against this MOS. I'm not. All
just
the digging
say what
I've
the MOS
done.
is, just so for people I've not heard of it.
Sorry, it's a MOS means mini one-stop shop, and it was created based on, according to the European Commission, for the sole purpose of taking as much of the admin headache away as they could. I don't think it's a foolproof solution, but it does offer you somewhat a little bit less of a headache. Yeah. You have to register in one European country, and you get to choose which country that is. So like me being in the U.S., I can decide which one I want to be mine. Whichever one I decide, that's the VAT tax rate I charge, the rules I follow. And then I pay all of it to them, and then they disperse it. You still have to know. The problem is you still have to keep up with knowing where your clients are.
Yeah.
So that you can keep what they call a European Commission sales list. And you have to keep that information. And the kicker is that information has to be kept on a database, a secure database I haven't got all the information on it, but from what I could tell, it had to be approved by the European Commission. And it has to be kept on there for 10 years.
Which is a really long time to keep data.
A lot of personal information.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't keep, as an accountant and as a tax professional, I keep personal information, but I don't keep it longer than I need it. Yeah. Now my tax clients, I have it under a lock and key, and then I have it cyberspace locked and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I don't offer that information to, anybody. It's secured for a reason. And so I think they're fallen into a little bit of trouble, but they are saying that the proofs can be their address, but then they're also saying like an IP address. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't want to give anyone my IP address.
This is a thing that people are saying, that they've made the compliance, where you've got to have these two bits of non-conflicting information. I mean, like you said, if someone is from the UK but traveling to Africa, then that IP address at the time of purchase might be Africa, but the home address would be the UK, and then that's conflicting information, so it wouldn't be allowed, and it would be the seller that could get a fine from the VAT rules.
Right.
So they haven't put in, what I can see is they've made the laws but not put in place an infrastructure for us to actually comply to the law. And this is obviously a big problem. And the other thing is what you're saying about the data. I don't know if you have this in America, but in the UK, if you collect anyone's data, you've then also got to sign up for the data protection people and pay them a fee, and keep your data in a certain way. So that's another cost for the solopreneur and another law to stick to as a result of this. So that's a massive problem. Well, it's not like a massive problem, but it's just another thing that they've got to pay for. And like you say, like how would a solopreneur just using something like PayPal be able to collect these non-conflicting bits of information, especially when the customer could be on holiday or
And that's the kicker, is a lot of people are not understanding that PayPal is not a third-party platform. They are just a pay site.
Gateway, yeah.
Right. They're just a third-party gateway. So if one of the solutions is instead of selling the stuff on my site, I can put it on a third-party gateway.
Like Amazon or something.
Right. They are required, even if they're telling you now they're not complying, they are required by law, come January 1st, they have to comply.
Yeah.
And if you don't sell your products on anything but Etsy and Amazon, those third-party platforms, then those companies have to abide. You will now be business to business, and then they will be the business to customer. Right. So they're the ones that have to do the thing. But if you sell it on your website and say you use PayPal or Stripe, then you are still responsible for that tax. PayPal isn't, because all they do is collect the money.
That's right.
They don't actually send the product.
Yeah.
And that's where the fusion is.
Well, they
and
also
see, like you were saying, with the IP address, if there's a conflicting with IP address, one of the other solutions where I have a problem is they want the bank details.
We don't get that.
Location of, they're saying bank details such as location of the bank account used for payment, or the billing address of the customer held by the account, or the location of the customer's fixed landline, or and this is the kicker, other commercially relevant information. They don't tell you what's relevant.
No. That's the thing with these laws, they're often quite vague. We have got solutions, so don't panic, and Lisa's done an amazing PDF that you guys can have as well, which gives you everything you need to know about this new law and how to both comply to it and also how to become exempt from it as well. So Lisa, moving on to that part of the of our chat, I want to look at the solutions. So we'll start with the normal solutions, which is the compliance, and then if you could move on to like the exemptions, that would be awesome.
Okay. The normal solution would be, one, deciding if you're going to do your third-party platform, which means you'll stop selling your services on your website, or you start putting, if you're going to sell your services on your website, then you have to make sure that your buy button is going to basically give you all the information that you're going to need in order to comply. If you're going to keep doing that, then you have to make sure that you register with either each of the 28 countries that you're selling, or do the MOS, and then you only have to charge the one VAT. The most important thing I can stress about this is when you do this, you are going to be required to file a quarterly VAT tax. They require it every quarter. There is no ifs, ands, and buts about it. They pretty much have said that the European Commission is basically all the 28 countries combined. So apparently all of them came to this conclusion. I personally don't see how, but okay.
It is what it is.
Exactly. Basically you have to make sure that you register. And you have to make sure you do that before you sell anything else. So if your website is not going to give you this information, then you need to look at the options of what you're going to do, whether you're going to keep doing it on your site, or if you're going to change it to a third-party platform and not have to worry about it because you'll be business to business. Yeah. But then the nice part of it is during the Q&A Twitter, HMRC answered a bunch of questions, and one of the things that they answered was what counted as live human interaction. And the law states that if there is more than minimal live human interaction, that the service was then exempt, that it didn't count as a digital e-service. All the documentation that I've pulled never went into detail of what they considered to be live human interaction or more than. The Q&A actually gave us more of that information. The biggest thing is, of course, a live webinar, of course, is not going to count because it's live. It's got full human interaction. Even if you have a free PDF download with it, then it's still not going to count because of that human interaction. One of the biggest things I think will work in a lot of entrepreneurs' favor, especially yours and maybe some of your e-boot campers, is the e-courses and the e-classes and all that y'all sell. If you have a Facebook group that goes along with that course, not a general Facebook group for your business, but one that they get invited into after they buy the course, then according to HMRC, that is enough live human interaction between you and your clients that course no longer counts as an e-service and it is exempt.
Yay!
So I can't think of anything better than that.
Exactly.
And I made sure it was included on my PDF.
Yes.
The information. And one of the other things is a lot of people are worried about like their coaching. Yeah. The coaching online, because even if you do a lot of tape stuff, because you also have live coaching where you're talking to them, etc., it's exempt because of the human interaction. Yeah. Basically, what the EU says is it's the digital services that are fully automated with no or minimal human contact. And I still see ways around like the ebooks and the e-services. I mean, it'd be tedious, but if you really want to get down to it, if you sell some ebooks, on top of like your e-courses, and you want, then instead of it being a fully automated email, one of my examples was it goes on a list and you manually type up the email and send it out at the end of the day. No offense, but it ain't going to take you that long to do that. And if it saves you 20% for everyone you sell, I'm all there for it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll type it up and send it at the end of the day.
Exactly. And it's not just the 20%, it's the hassle, isn't it, as well? It's saving you all that hassle, the quarterly VAT returns to the 28 member states or whatever, and it's saving you all the compliance issues with the data and changing all your gateways, So the way I see it from what you've said, and I've read your PDF as well, my students in particular, anyone that's studying how to do e-courses from me, will have three choices. One, you just comply and get shit done and like go through this MOS system and everything. Two, if you want your course to remain 100% digital, no human interaction whatsoever, you then use a third party like Udemy for courses, something like that. And then the third option would be just add a live element to it in the form of a Facebook group, and then you're exempt. So I teach my students to put Facebook groups with their courses anyway, to give because I think it's a good thing to have a course where you've got human interaction. So students of mine, you're sorted because you're going to be adding a live element. So those are the three solutions really, aren't they, for e-course people, as far as I can see it. So anything else to add? I'd like you to, Lisa, just tell my students, because I know some people might be wanting to go down the route of complying to the new VAT law, because they might want to keep their stuff completely digital. Some people just do. And so you, I know, offer some taxation services, is that right? Do you want to just tell everyone what your business is, what your website is, and what you can actually offer?
Sure. My business is Balanced Tax Services. I offer accounting and tax services basically to really any of the onlinepreneurs all over the country. The VAT service that I'm offering, I basically started offering, I came about it because I want to be able to, one, help the online entrepreneurs know that there is a way to still keep their business and them not have to fool with filing the quarterly VAT tax or signing up for the MOS. Or the website's not the most friendliest website, even though they claim it is. It's not. I've actually been on it and fooled with it. So my services is offering to help them get registered, then also help them learn how to fill out the sheet that they need to fill out, even offer to help them keep the information. Basically, they would send me the information and I would make sure it was kept up to date and file the quarterly for them. It would be a lot of one-on-one interaction between us, but it'll take that hassle off of them so that they don't have so much of a headache for that part. especially for a lot of the U.S. Entrepreneurs, where we already have a year-end tax return we have to file as well. That's the kind of thing that I'm going for. I am also offering, and I posted this in the No Desk Required, and this is no strings attached. I want to make sure everyone knows that, because I've been stressing this all over, because everybody's been asking me. I can't believe it. Every time I put that, they're like, really? No strings attached? And I'm like, yeah, I'm serious. No strings attached. If you have any questions about anything on that PDF, there's a link. I don't know if the link actually worked, because I fooled with it till the wee hours in the morning. But there is still a link. You can copy it.
Yeah.
I'm offering a free consultation to answer any questions. They can message me and ask me any questions. It doesn't matter where you're at in the world. I've already got 2 clients in the UK, and we work out the hours. Yeah, we become really creative. So it's not a problem. I'm also offering, again, my services to help with anyone that wants to, like you said, wants to comply, wants to keep part of their stuff digital or whatever, and they want to know what they need to do. Then I'm offering to help them so that they can comply and that they don't get in trouble. Because apparently, according to the EU, that means any of the 28 countries that we sell into, we can be audited by them. They're not saying that you can be audited at any time, but they're not also specifying exactly as to when it would be allowed for us to be audited.
Yeah, right, and that's pretty scary for most people to think about, isn't it? That's amazing. That's such a generous offer. So I recommend anyone having problems jump on Lisa's offer there, because that's brilliant. I've never heard of anyone that works in accountancy to give such a freebie.
Well, I mean, as I said, I mean, to be able to answer questions, if you've got questions about it, because it's confusing as it is, I'm not the type of person that's just not going to answer your question. I mean, the more questions you ask, then the more knowledge you are. And if you end up, you'll then see. And if you see that you need some help, or if you're wanting to comply with it, but you just don't want to deal with it, then those services are being offered there. And there will be a sales page put up on my website. And the website is balanced, BALANCED, taxservices.com. The sales page isn't up there yet. I have a couple of other ones that are up there, but this one will be the VAT sales page, and it'll be up there with more specifics and of everything that'll be offered. And if anyone's interested in me helping them, then they can contact me for that as well.
That's fab. And I'm going to put Lisa's amazing PDF into my group, No Desk Required, and also all my students on eCourse Bootcamp will also get a copy as well, and with this video. So if you're watching it, you've already got it. So I'm going to leave it at that. I think we've had quite enough of crazy VAT laws for a lifetime. So at least we've got the solutions now, thanks to Lisa. So we want to thank you so much for doing this. Really, really appreciate it. And my students are going to breathe a sigh of relief to hear that there are ways around this law, legal ways around it. No one's advocating for tax avoidance at all, but there are ways that, legal ways where you will become exempt from that VAT ruling. So I want to thank you loads and loads, and do visit Lisa's website, and if you're in NDR, she's often in there helping out with the VAT questions as well. So thank you so much.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, go on.
I want to say one thing. I've put on the PDF that if you want to have an updated copy once the laws are all set and done, if you go in and sign up on my email list, that is where the final, because everything's not set in stone yet, because we're still got 30-something days until it goes into effect.
Anything can happen.
Exactly, and you never know what happens between now and then. But I will make sure that it's updated, and that goes out. So
brilliant. That's really good, because and also things might change after the fact as well.
Right.
Because laws, once they realise what a shitstorm they've created, they might change things, because I've seen that happen with EU rulings as well. So it's well worth jumping on Lisa's list, guys, because you really can't, you know, put a price on that kind of information if someone's just going to feed out when new things happen. It's invaluable to all of us that are in business. So thank you again for that. And I'll see you guys soon. Take it easy.